So, if you're only using AI to ask simple questions, you're missing out on almost all of its real power. Today, we're going to show you how to get past those basic prompts and start actually building powerful, intelligent systems. Let's dive in.
Okay, look, most people are stuck over here on the left side of the screen, right? They're scrolling through lists of 10 prompts to use and getting pretty generic, kind of boring answers. But the real magic, that's over on the right. That's where you're treating AI like a serious research tool, building out power workflows, and designing actual intelligence systems. We're going to help you make that jump. So let me just ask you, does this feel familiar at all? You know the AI is powerful, but you just keep getting these surface-level, pretty uninspired results. It feels like you just hit a wall. If that sounds like you, hey, you're not alone. And honestly, it's not your fault. It's because there's this fundamental gap in how most of us were taught to even use it. We like to call this the AI strategy gap. And it's that huge space between just giving AI a command and, strategically architecting how it thinks. This is probably why your progress has flatlined. You've mastered the basics, for sure, but the next level, it isn't about asking better questions. It's about building better systems. This, right here, really gets to the heart of the misunderstanding. Most people treat AI like a kind of super Google. You ask a question, you get an answer. But its real potential, the game-changing stuff, is unlocked when you start treating it like a reasoning partner, like an actual extension of your own mind that you can guide and structure. So, how do we make that leap? Well, it all starts by going a little bit deeper. We've got to peek inside the AI's brain, so to speak, to really get the fundamentals of how it works. And this isn't just some fun trivia. It is the absolute foundation for everything else we're going to talk about. Okay, so for example, let's talk about tokens. An AI doesn't see words the way you and I do. It sees these little things called tokens, which are basically pieces of words. Now, understanding this is so important because it completely changes how you communicate with it. You realize you're not just giving it sentences, you're literally feeding it the building blocks of its language. And how does it learn all this stuff? Well, it's basically a three-step process. First, it scrapes a colossal amount of data from the internet, just all of it. Then, it pre-trains itself to find patterns in all that data. And finally, it gets aligned by humans to make sure it's helpful and safe. Knowing this pipeline helps you understand why it gives you the answers it does. It's all about the patterns it was trained on. So with that foundation in place, we can now see how this knowledge completely transforms a basic skill, like prompting. We really have to stop thinking of it as just asking questions and start seeing it for what it truly is. It's a language for directing a reasoning engine. Prompting is basically coding without syntax. I want you to just think about that for a second. It means you're not just having a chat with a bot. You are literally programming a thought process using plain English. That single insight changes the entire game. This means that advanced prompting is all about designing what are called cognitive architectures. And that's just a fancy way of saying you're building a structured pathway for the AI to think. You're giving it a blueprint for how to reason, not just a simple request for an answer. And that just blows the doors open to a whole universe of advanced techniques. I mean, take multi-agent prompting. You can literally tell the AI to create a team of experts, say a skeptical scientist and an optimistic marketer, and then have them debate a topic to give you a much more well-rounded answer. We're talking meta-prompting, self-reflection. This is light years beyond asking it to write an email for you. And once you master these kinds of techniques, your whole focus starts to shift. You're no longer just using AI, you're building with it. You're actually creating a thinking partner, a system that is totally customized to your needs and your goals. So what can you build? Just imagine creating a custom AI agent that's your personal research assistant, constantly scanning for new info in your field and giving you a summary every single morning. Or you could build entire workflow systems, huge knowledge bases. You could even use it as an AI co-founder to help you build a company. The possibilities are just massive. And this is the paradigm shift we've been talking about. You stop being a passive user of a tool and you become an active architect of a system. You're the designer, you're the strategist, you're the one directing the intelligence. Ultimately, this whole journey isn't just about learning a new skill. It's really about adopting a completely new identity in this new world that's being powered by AI. I mean, just look at this transformation. You go from being a prompt follower to a prompt architect, from a simple AI user to a real AI strategist. You stop just asking questions and you start building systems. This is the leap.
With this knowledge, you are no longer just a user of somebody else's technology. You are an architect, capable of building your own unique and powerful systems of intelligence. So I'll just leave you with this one question. Now that you know what's possible, now that you can build and direct your very own AI thinking partner, what will you build with your second brain?